Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. You're watching Seeing the Unseen with your host, Christopher LaPrath. My name's Kenan, his son and the producer of the show. For anyone who might be joining us for the very first time, be sure to say something so we know that you're here and I can put you in line for a reading. Now, the first time, of course, it's always free. So don't be shy, just be sure to say something so we know you're here if it's your very first time. And after that, of course, it's just $10 per reading, and you can also pay $100 to cover the entire month, which that's 3 shows per week. So I like to think it's a pretty nice deal. But I don't have a whole lot to say tonight other than just the title is Reality. It should be a fun show to watch. Here's Christopher. Thanks for watching.
Oh my gosh, thanks. Thank you so much, Kenan. I don't think the camera's on.
I got it.
Okay. I think the camera's on now. There we go. The camera's on. Thank you so much. Kenan started his yoga training. He will be an amazing yoga teacher. He'll be done in 3 months. But literally, he walked in 2 minutes before showtime. So I wanted to thank him. I wanted to give him a huge shout out for all the work that he does and helping keep the show running and keep it running smoothly. I can't give him enough credit or praise for the advances he's made and for what he's doing to help other people. And also, I wanted tonight to give a shout out to Marilyn Maddox. What I would recommend all of you do is you can on Facebook join Unity Myrtle Beach. Unity Myrtle Beach. And she popped up on my feed today. Well, Unity Myrtle Beach popped up on my feed. And she was giving this great talk. And it's so much in line with what the show is about. I'd highly recommend. She did an amazing job. And you'll get to see her. You'll actually get to see her in action. She's been a Unity minister for many, many years and is very gifted along those lines and has helped thousands and thousands of people over the years, including myself. She's just an amazing force in action. And so if you get to watch Unity Myrtle Beach, and you'll be able to see her talk today. And I thought it was just really profound. But let me perhaps expand your reality. I wanted to talk about reality. And what magic is, what reality is. Excuse me. Magic is crafting the physical form from the non-physical. Oh. Now, think about this. If you were trying to explain to somebody from the 16th, 15th, 18th century that you were watching me in Phoenix, Arizona, from where you live, you probably would be burned at the stake within 30 minutes. Because to them, it would be magic. And depending on where their belief system was, they may not be so welcoming. But you think about the billions of vibrations that are around us every day. The electromagnetic, the radio waves, the television waves, the ultraviolet, the sound waves that we can't even hear. That's why a lot of us have dogs or love dogs. There are frequencies, there are vibrations that we're bombarded with every day, billions of them. And for centuries, people have tried, they've been somewhat aware of them and tried to use those vibrations to further themselves, to further their growth, which is really interesting because that's the group card for tonight. I'm not going to pull it up yet, but I wanted to finish talking about this is because these days we use Wi-Fi radio waves to use Google, to search Google. It's Wi-Fi radio waves. Again, probably burned at the stake if it was just even 100 years ago. Before we used chanting, and still sometimes we use chanting to raise vibrations. And it's still used in many, many cultures. Chants, mantras to raise the vibration. Today, in the medical industry, we use high frequency ultrasound waves to cure cancer. And microwave frequencies for GPS. These are just examples of what is reality. Okay? So, right now, if you're watching this show, you're doing a little bit of time travel. Yes, it appears to be live, but there's a several second delay. And so you're delving in unreality right now. We are inherently more capable than any of the technologies that we've invented. Let me say that again. We are inherently more capable than any technologies that we have created. Physical reality is not the real truth. It just appears to be that way. It's not how things really are. So think about this. We actually came here to play in the non-physical, to play in the non-reality. So now we're ready for the group card, Kenan.
All right, there you go.
I want to commend all of you. I can vouch for every one of you. If you've been on the show for any amount of time, look back at your growth. You know, there was a reason that maybe your parents or you marked your growth on the side of the doorpost and the age and the date. Because you didn't feel the growth. And so you would check it every few weeks, maybe every few months, every year, and you could see how much you've grown, even though you may not be consciously aware of it. So I can vouch for every one of you. You have absolutely grown. I would love to set up a date for every one of you. I built a new doorpost here, and I'd love to have every one of you come, and I can mark on the doorpost how tall you've gotten spiritually, mentally, emotionally, maybe not physically, but all of those guide marks are part of that. We don't see a tree growing. We may have left an area for a while, maybe the house we were raised in, and gone back years later, and the trees were huge. They've grown. It's this growth that spurs us on. Look how far you have come. Look what used to bother you. Look what doesn't bother you anymore. That is an estimate of growth. So I wanted to share this with you. You're moving toward the light. This growth, and Marilyn talks about this in her talk. Again, it's Unity Myrtle Beach. But to expand and extend into this light, into this awareness, into your abilities. Every one of you has very, very unique abilities. And understanding your everyday fortunes. If you want a fortune, understand your everyday fortunes and how fortunate you are, and count those fortunes, and then somehow the universe responds to that and adds more to your fortune. That's growth. That's the attainment of higher consciousness and even knowledge of the future. It's time to move up, break out, branch out. It's time to move up, break out, branch out. You're doing it. You're doing it. Okay, who's first?
John is.
Hey, John, nice to have you on first. Hey, John, what does a child worry about? Nada. They play, they come home, the food is ready for them, their clothes are laid out for the next day, they're given a bath. It's all given to them. So when you're in a funk, and I'm talking to everybody on the show, when you get into a funk of some kind, where is that coming from? That is a gift being given you, not as a test, but as a challenge. And for you to see past it, under it, over it, or through it. That's what I love doing. It's how my brain is wired. It's about the readings and being able to see around it, see through it. You know, I did a reading this weekend for a couple, and they've been remodeling their home for quite a while. So their outward reality, they knew that they needed to remodel their home. But underneath, it was the universe prodding them to remodel at an energetic level, to remodel at a spiritual level. So even that sense of the need to remodel, look what's below that. Look at John, you starting brand new, not in Phoenix, Arizona, in Wyoming. And that childlike freedom that gives you. That is phenomenal. So, any of you single ladies that have always wanted to visit Wyoming, I know somebody. Yeah. John's one of the best guys I know, if not the best. All right, who's next?
Marilyn Pitts.
Hey, Marilyn Pitts. I love this card, Marilyn. The major job, or the major, I'm not a lawyer, but when you have a witness on the stand, they're simply telling everyone what they witnessed without emotional or mental involvement in either the defendant or the, what's the other guy? Defendant.
Prosecutor.
Or the
Antagonist.
Lady Laurel's pimping out John. Yeah, I kind of am. Yeah, but they don't take sides. My point is, I'm having a senior, not a senior moment, huh?
Judge.
Yeah. They're not there to judge. They're there to witness. So Marilyn, this is you stepping back, and it has to do with your reading that you had today. So I won't go into detail, but stepping back and going, isn't this interesting? And not giving or taking any emotional charge from it. Because again, as I said to John, if you used to be, and we've described this before, you used to wear a lot of Angora sweaters while crossing lots of barbed wire fences. and things would really hang you up. Well, even if you downgrade to wearing spandex all the time and you get rid of your Angora sweaters, you can still get a little snag. And when there's an energetic snag, it can hang you up. That's what it's meant to do, is to hang you up. That's what barbed wire does. Well, there are people out there that are just simply barbed wire. And you can either choose, if you know you're going into or crossing a barbed wire fence, there's a chance of you getting hung up. Or you could just go around the field or just go to another field. This is you retracting your energy from being barbed, hooked, poked, hurt, and removing yourself from that. Okay.
Laurel's next.
Laurel's next. Okay, Laurel, here we go. So, do you remember, Laurel, the movie Airplane? And it was a comedy about airports, and they're in the airport tower, and Lloyd Bridges hands this guy a piece of paper. And he goes, "Fred, what do you make of this?" And the guy grabs it and he goes, "Oh, I can make a hat. I can make a hat. I can make an airplane. I can make an airplane. I can..." And he makes all of this. He goes into this comedy routine where, what do I make of this? A piece of paper. You can make anything you want from it. My point is, Laurel, this is your corn card. You can have popped corn. You can boil the corn. You can roast the corn. You can make corn oil from it. You can... I'm not going to go into all the recipes and all the ideas of what you can do with corn. Corn is not ordinary. Laurel, look at me. You're not normal. You're not ordinary. Universe, show me now what to make of this. Okay? Show me now what else I can do with my talents that are emerging. Show me more. Show me... If you can Google what is corn good for, you can Google the universe is what is Laurel good for? What else can Laurel be used for? What else can Laurel do? And just get ready for the downloads, girl. Get ready for the downloads. How else can I present this? And there are going to be miracles happening. Corn is also, this card is about abundance. It's about opening up and allowing more abundance. Okay, we got to talk. We're going to talk. It's really good. All right, who's next? Who? Mindy next. Mindy, Melinda, I would really encourage you to read Alberto Villoldo's books. These cards are Alberto Villoldo's design cards. It's Alberto, Alberto Villoldo, V as in Victor, Illoldo. It's he's a doctor of medical anthropology, And actually, I have the book here. It's called Grow a New Body, is one of his books. How Spirit and Power Plant Nutrients Can Transform Your Health. Anyway, it's more than just a health book. There are things in here that are extremely profound. And it's your one of the things he said in there is that neurons that fire together wire together. So create more neurons that wire together around what you have experienced as reality, which really, can you expand on a better viewpoint of that and a better outlook of that, and actually start using your powers to manifest. Because you've got a lot of ancient ones around you that are there to help. So I want to share this with you because it came up in a reading recently. This woman was traveling at night a lot. She wasn't resting. She would wake up just exhausted. And so what I mean by that is she was traveling to different planes, to different levels of existence, which is fine and good, but not to the detriment of the human body. So when you go to bed at night, tell your body, I'm going to wake up feeling like I've had 8 to 10 hours of rest, and I'm not traveling tonight. I'm staying here. Traveling is all fine and good, but you don't want to do it 365 days a year, right? Think of the jet lag. Well, that's just exactly it on a spiritual level as well for you, Melinda, is you're a good traveler, but back it down a notch or 2 or 10, where you're bringing it into and you're actually getting the rest that you need. Okay, Marilyn and Abby. All right, again, kudos, Marilyn. Great talk today. And if you are just joining us, Marilyn gave this talk at Unity Myrtle Beach. You can actually you can Facebook them and friend them and get to listen to Marilyn's talk. It was really wonderful today. So in Ayurvedic medicine, which is the medicine of India, and what they practice in India, it's what Deepak Chopra was trained in. It has a lot to do with mind, body, medicine. In Ayurvedic medicine. And one of the things is the Avalambaka. They call it the Avalambaka, which is getting your heart's desire. So I gave a reading years ago, and this woman's Avalambaka, her heart's desire was shoes. She's like, and she had judgment on that. Like shoes was wrong or bad, or there. No, my Avalon Baca is God, or a higher. No, it was shoes. But when I told her, I said, listen, I said, there are shoes that are thousands of dollars. There are shoes that are handmade in Italy. Or think about being able to travel, I don't know, to Italy or Spain and having a pair of shoes handmade for you. Think about being able to have the money to spend on the shoes that you really love and need and want. And she kind of began to get it. So this is you getting your heart's desire. And it has something to do this is the heart of the sky. So if you could text me your birth date, it has something to do with your astrological sign, and we'll take a look at it. Okay, and then Bobabby. Okay, so Abby. Are you willing to be free of being around negative people to try to help them feel better? There are witches out there, Abby, that just need to be melted. They just need to have water thrown on them and just melted. There are people that are not getting their lesson. It's not your job to help them get their lesson or to spend your time where people aren't getting their lesson. This is pulling your energy back from those people and be free of trying to make the Wicked Witch of the West nice. Because you're a good person, you have this incredible power and connection to the earth, and you can change energies. You can really help people that want to be helped. And so ask for clearer and better and more discernment as to people that really want the help. And be free of the this is you moving away, having more energy for yourself and moving away from people that are wanting energy from you, because you're a very giving person. You're a very generous person. You're a very mindful person. You could start your own church, and I know a really good minister that would probably go to work for you and be a great speaker. Because you have an altruistic, is that the word? Altruistic?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it is. Just a really, but the sorcerer, this is the where people can come in that are sorcerers. That's why I'm picking up the Wicked Witch of the West, right? Or they're not being free of dealing with those people. So this message is going out to you, Abby, but it's also going out to everyone on the show. Okay? Abby says, I think I may know her. Yeah, I love it. Okay, who's next?
Giles is next.
Who?
Giles.
Giles. Hey, Giles. Giles is watching on TV. So here we go, Giles. So the blade, awesome. Offensive and defensive. Also cut bread. And you got to have a good blade for barbecue, right, John? This is your sharp mind and getting your thoughts under control. You absolutely have the power to control your thoughts. And if there's any negative energy, you can use the blade, you can use this sword to cut off the negativity. And so this might be a really good visual for everyone. We were talking today about projections that can come in from other people, other places. They can come in from other places. And it's not okay. So I don't know about you, Giles, but when I was a kid, I played a lot of marbles. And I knew my marbles. Like, I knew which marbles were mine. So I could play with 2 or 3 or 4 kids, and I could play with their marbles. And at the end of the game, or the end of the show, and even the marbles that I won, I knew that they were mine. Like, I knew my marbles. I never lost my marbles. So this is reclaiming your marbles, Giles, and knowing which marbles are yours, which thoughts are yours, and which marbles are not yours, which marbles are not your thoughts, and sending them away, cutting them off. This is the blade, like cutting off the bullshit, and not getting involved, being free of getting involved in politics, and this has to do a little bit with Abby, with you want to be a good Samaritan, but you don't want to pick up hitchhikers that are serial killers. So there's this knowing and sorting out your thoughts as to what is yours and what isn't yours. Okay.
Cat's next.
Cat? Hey, Cat. Here we go. Cat wants something very specific tonight. This cat is soul retrieval. Anywhere where you have dedicated, where you've dedicated your life to a cause, are you willing to reevaluate that now? Because it's going, at the time you made the dedication, you had a limited understanding. We've all done that. oaths, vows, swearings. And at the time, they were appropriate. Maybe. I'll give you an example. When I was 14, I made this dedication to my perception of God. And then I was baptized. Now, I'm not talking about any particular religion. I'm not talking about any, I'm just telling you my story. But, I wrote about this in my book, I superimposed my earthly father, this is what I knew, with my heavenly father. And my earthly father was vengeful, angry, gave retribution. You never knew where you were with him. And of course, that's the religion I joined. And I actually never really knew where I was at, because all of the God advice came actually through the elders or the people in the church that knew. And so then I spent a long time untangling myself from that dedication, that I was like, I'd actually given part of my soul away. This is you getting your soul back. This is it's happening, but you may not fit in anymore. And the weird vibes you're picking up from some people is an indication of that you are growing. So it's like this, Kat. It's like you're no longer 3.5 feet tall. And you know, at 3.5 feet, you cannot ride the roller coasters in Disneyland. Nope. Nope. You got to be a certain height. Now you're a certain height, Kat. And all your friends that are still 3.5 feet tall are really pissed and angry that now you're 5'10". And you can ride the roller coaster. I hope that made you smile, because it cracked me up. Anyway, I love you, Kat.
Doreen and Jenny are on.
Doreen and Jenny. Doreen and Jenny. Okay, my Jenny, thank you for being here for the first time. I'll read for you first. You know what, Jenny? You really, you know, Jenny, you really need to stay quiet. It's really, you really shouldn't ask for what you want or need. You know, you don't want to, don't make a ruckus. And don't use that rattle. Don't use that rattle, girl. Because people will know you're there. Okay, I'm being facetious, right? You know, I was just joking. This is you stepping up, making noise, being heard, and anywhere where you have been subjected to children should be seen and not heard, anywhere where you were trained to not be heard or to keep quiet, that's all changing for you. Step up, speak out, and not only children should not be seen. Okay, you were raised where children should not be seen and not heard. So this is you being seen. You're safe to be seen. You are safe to be heard. What you say matters. And are you willing to let go of the fear of being wrong? This is using your rattle. This is invoking spirit. This is giving you courage. So whatever it is that you're wanting to step into, use the rattle to invoke the gods, to invoke spirit, to invoke however, whatever spirituality you practice. This is using the rattle. This is a Native American rattle, but it's very symbolic of calling on spirit and demanding spirit what it is you want. You deserve to be heard. You absolutely deserve to be heard. Speak up. Go for it. Okay, Doreen. Doreen, universe, show me now how to think bigger. Show me now universe, thank you for my previous small thinking. Universe, show me now how to believe bigger. Why this Andean cross came up, I had to think for a minute. This is some kind of complex, like a building, but this has this beautiful courtyard with fountains and gardens and enchanting. Like it's out. Believing is seeing. Believe it. Believe bigger. And anywhere where there's fear about, so this has to do a little bit with Kat's card. Anywhere where there's any fear of, well, if I do that, I'll stand out from my friends. Well, the friends that are friends will stay your friends. And those that you have doubts about, you need to lose them anyway. Because the real friends will be cheering for your victories, cheering for your progress, cheering for your prosperity. And any Klingons? Tell the universe to clean off the Klingons. And be free of being embarrassed that you have Klingons. Because we've all had Klingons. Okay, who's next?
Jared.
Jared. Jared and Kat of Kat and Jared. Dr. Jared. Okay, Dr. J. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about this, what I just said to Doreen, Jared, about thinking bigger. Universe, show me how to think bigger. And Kat, I get the same sense as I do with Doreen. with this healing complex, like the whole complex, the whole building, the garden, the retreat center, it's all dealing with healing. And so this has to deal with the mystical shaman, Jared. This is that we are inherently more capable than the technologies that we've created. So this is you working on this energetic vibrational level, which is what we came here to do, right? That physical reality is not the real truth. It's not how actually things are, but we came here to play in the non-physical. This is you creating on a vibrational level all right. They're showing me a pond in winter and it's frozen. But you don't run out onto the pond with your ice skates, go full bore. No, you test the ice. Because these forces, these vibrations, these frequencies have solidified the ice. This is you working on an energetic level to create the place you want. And if you're not sure, then work on how you want it. If you're not sure the physical design of things, work on the feeling of having it and what that would feel like. Start there. Start with having the feeling of what it is you really want, and then build on that. Then to start visualizing it like this, like the Andean cross, like I was talking with Doreen about this center with the garden in the center, and have the universe show you ideas. Universe, open up the field for me. Open up the mall. Open up the new mall for me 2 hours early before anybody else gets there. And I can look around the mall to see what I'm drawn to, how it suits me, what it feels like. Go with the feeling of what it feels like. That's your key. Use the emotion, use the feeling of what it is that you're creating. Okay.
Great. Scott Ambrosie's last.
Hey, Brosie. Okay, here we go, Scott. Woo! What a show tonight. It's great, great show. Thank you for all being here. Thank you for bringing these messages, because it not only applies to you, but it applies to everybody. Okay, Brosie. All of the sacrifices you've made hang on, let me think of this wording. I fully accept recompense for all of my work. I fully accept recompense for all of my work. this is being so there are people, there are religions, there are people in religions that, you know, beat themselves with black whips because it's a sacrifice, or they'll give up their job, or they'll whatever for God, or what they view as God, and they're not open to any recompense, right? Because the more I suffer, the better servant of God I am, and then they begin to use that as a kind of a medal or whatever. I'm not saying that about you. I'm just saying this is your time for recompense, and accept it. Not recompense. That's not the word. It's acceptance. Like acceptance for the payback for the sacrifices you've made.
Comeuppance, I think, is the word.
Comeuppance?
Yeah, but I don't think
It's not comeuppance. It's like Kennan's helping me with the word here, but it's accepting the money, the recognition, and recognizing your talent, and getting back fully into that. Because this is the sacrifice card. It's 44, which is 4 adds up to 8. 8 is the number for prosperity. 8 is the number for abundance. And this is, to sacrifice means to make sacred.
recompense, Mindy says.
Recompense, what?
Recompense is what Mindy
Yeah, recompense. Thank you, Melinda. Yeah, Mindy, it's recompense. It's payback time. And it's time to rededicate yourself to your journey. There's that song going through my head now. You got to get right back to where I started from. Like, love is good. Love can be strong. You got to get right back to where you started from. There's that song. I don't know who wrote. Anyway, it's going through my head right now. This is getting back to your journey. When you make sacred, you open the doors to infinite wealth. Boom. Okay, I love this. What a great card to end with for everybody. Fantastic. Do we have everybody?
I think so.
Okay, if we don't have everybody, say hello in the chat so we know you're here. Otherwise, we don't know that you're here. I had one lady the other day. She's like, well, I was on the show and you didn't pull a card for me. And I'm like, no, you weren't. Yeah, I was. Did you say something in the chat? No. Okay, well, we don't know you're here. So if you're here, say something. And so this is where it's really important. And thank you, by the way. Thank you all for your contributions. It helps keep the show going. There's a new month coming up. If you can, for September, any help would be much appreciated. But thank you all so much for being here. We'll do this again, tomorrow night, Monday. I love you all. And Doreen, thank you for telling Jenny. And if any of you have anybody on the show, we'd love to have them. So great blessings to you. Love you all. See you Monday night. Tomorrow.